Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. I'm Miss Charlotte, a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities. But I have been doing more and more royal charts, and you guys have been demanding this particular reading of me for quite a while. I will be analyzing the Sinistry chart of two senior members of the British royal family, and they are Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, the future King of England, and his younger brother, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex. Now, these two have been feuding for several years now. A lot of people, specifically people in the media, love to pin it all on Meghan Markle, when this has been brewing for decades, even before the arrival of their wives. So I wanted to explore their chemistry, understand what they're motivated by, what their destiny is together. Ultimately, like potentially, will they get back together? Will they reunite? Will they ever get along again? Hopefully we can answer these questions. Okay. Before I dive in, I just want you guys to know 50% off my astrological readings, and spaces are filling up. If you don't book it, you're going to miss out, and I'm never going to do it again. So there's limited time, limited spaces in my schedule. Book it now. And I'll see you in the Zoom room. I also have 70% off my recorded readings, which is sent to your email. If you'd like to support me, that's the best way to do it. Purchase a reading, or you can like, subscribe, and comment, because I need this algorithm to work for me. I'm trying to build this community. I'm trying to build this YouTube, turn it into like a real living, because one day I would like to just not rely on reading so much to pay my bills. It'd be really nice to be a YouTuber and turn this into something great. So thank you for the support thus far. I really appreciate it. All right, so let's dive in and have a look at the Sinistry chart between these two feuding boys. What is going on? So just for the record, Prince William is a sun and moon in Cancer with a Venus in Taurus. His Mercury is in Gemini, his Mars is in Libra, and he has a Sagittarius rising, which is so interesting because his mother, Princess Diana, and Prince William, they're astrological twins, because Princess Diana has a sun in Cancer and a Venus in Taurus and a Sagittarius rising. So that's why he looks so physically similar to her, or at least he did, until she snatched her jeans back. That's an ongoing joke online, that like Diana's so angry with him that she snatched her jeans back snatched her jeans back, and now he's starting to look more like Charles, which is like kind of true. Anyway, Harry is a Virgo sun, a Taurus moon. His Mars is in Sagittarius. His Mercury is also in Virgo, and he's a Venus in Libra with a Capricorn rising. Okay, so those are their placements. I will return to this full chart later on at the end of the presentation, just to see if I've missed anything. All right. Let's have a look at their midheavens. The heir and the spare, Scorpio midheavens. So what's really interesting about these two is that they share this, like, their midheavens in the same sign. And Scorpio is the mafia leader. Like, even Queen Elizabeth II, or even Queen Elizabeth I. Scorpio midheavens they're great midheavens to be royals, to be kings, to be queens, to be princes and princesses, because it's literally the sign associated with inherited wealth and legacy and power and money, shared money, and mafia, of course. And that's what monarchy is. It's mafia. So with William's in the red, by the way, Harry's in the blue, you can see that William has a Jupiter midheaven conjunction. He's got Jupiter in Scorpio. It is in retrograde, so there's a little bit of struggle. There's a little bit of tension there, but overall, Jupiter on the midheaven, that is someone who looks honorable, someone who is very popular. Jupiter expands out, right? It governs Sagittarius. It's actually his chart ruler, because he's a Sagittarius rising. So to have his chart ruler play out in the midheaven, he's going to be popular, and a lot of his identity is associated with his profession, right? Because his chart ruler is on that midheaven, right? He's a prince and will be king. So even if he is badly behaved, he's always going to be popular. He's always going to be well liked. And he does have that image of being this honorable man. That doesn't mean that he is honorable all the time. That doesn't mean he's got some, dirty things behind the scenes. But the way he appears to the British public is someone of honor, kind and generous and all of that. So that is there. Harry doesn't have it as easy. While he also has the Scorpio midheaven, he's got the planet of restriction on his midheaven. He's got Saturn there. So one brother, the one that's going to be king, has Jupiter, the planet of expansion, on his midheaven, making him popular and honorable and likable. Whereas the younger brother, with the same midheaven sign, has the planet of restriction and struggle on there. So one has expansion, one has restriction, one has an easier time with their reputation, the other one is going to suffer from disgrace. Saturn overall, though, over time is good. It's just a long, hard climb to the top, because where you have Saturn is where you have the most karma, the most struggle, and the most lessons. And he has that around his work, his role in the royal family. So he has to be, in order for him to be perceived, even just a fraction, even just to be given the fraction of the amount of respect that Prince William has, he has to work harder. He has to be someone truly of substance to get just a fraction of his popularity. So with Prince Harry, it makes sense why he has the Invictus Games and he works really hard at that, why he had to almost die in war and go off and leave his family and fight overseas, and it's very, very extreme. He's had to do all these things in order to be seen as deserving of his station in life. William is the chosen one. He don't have to struggle to get there. He's been already given it. And because he looks like Diana, he's Diana's boy, he's going to inherit that popularity as well. Prince Harry doesn't have that luxury. He's got to earn it. He's got to suffer for it. But ultimately, I don't want to call this a prediction, is it? I don't know. I can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on, years down the track, when we look back on this time, Harry will probably be more popular because he'll be perceived as the one with more substance than his brother in the future. Because it's in the present, he's the disgraceful one. He's the rat. He's the liar. He's not deserving. He's not a real royal. And by the way, the people that are in the comment section saying that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle aren't real royals because they left, listen, there is no prerequisite for this. The only thing that qualifies you to be a royal is to be born into it, to have the blood running through your veins, or to be married into it. That's it. There's no other requirement. So don't come on the comments and be like, nah, the only way that you can be royal is if you stay in the family. No. He was born into the family. She married into the family. Whether they live in London or Calabasas or whatever the hell they are in California, they're royal. And their kids got that royal blood running through their veins as well. There's no job application for this, okay? Just so you guys know. If you are going to be a monarchist, at least respect the rules, because you're not respecting the rules. They are royals, whether you like it or not. Even if he quits and gives up his title, he's a royal. Okay? Fantastic. So yes, the brothers, they've got some trouble here. Also, the brothers, they have it very different. They have it very, very different, even though they have the same midheaven. William has an easier time. Harry has a hard time. He's the one that struggles a bit more. He also has Pluto in Scorpio. That's in his 9th house, so danger overseas. But because it's playing into that 10th house, it's in the same sign as his midheaven, difficulty at work, another placement of disgrace. I actually think that with William, with his Pluto in Libra in the 9th, while there's danger overseas because it's retrograde, like it's not going to play out, he's pretty protected. So that's actually not a bad thing to have Pluto retrograde there. Pluto not in retrograde in the 9th house. I would get some travel insurance with that. Just so you know. Now, I think we're going to come back to that, but there is this stellium here. I'll just talk about it now, actually. There's this stellium in Libra sitting on Harry's Venus. Harry has a Venus in Libra. He wants it's a lovely Venus. It's a lovely Venus placement because it's at home. What he really desires in friendship and in romantic love is an equal partnership and to be treated fairly and for him to treat other people fairly. That's all he wants. But William has his Mars here, which is an aggressive planet pretty much sitting on, it's not in a conjunction, not a tight one anyway, but Mars, the planet of aggression, the weapon, it's like a knife to his heart. Literally, Venus is the heart. And Mars is a weapon, a knife, a gun, and normally in a romantic couple, this could be great sexual chemistry. It could be quite nice. But in a platonic or brotherly kind of relationship, this could be competition. That's a sword to the throat, Saturn, the planet of restriction and karma, sitting on Harry's Venus. That's not easy either. Like restricting his friendships. With this placement, I could see William not wanting or withholding his friendships and his connections from Harry for whatever reason, whether it was he thought it was the best thing for him, or because he was competitive, or Harry's Venus is not shining here, not with William. William dims his light a bit. Venus is supposed to be this bright, sparkly thing. Like it's your heart, it's your love, it's your values. It's like your, it's a social planet. And William's restrictive planet is sitting on here, as this malefic planet, like dulling the energy, cutting off friendships, cutting off networks, or you know what I mean. And then you've got Mars sitting on here. It's a bit mean. It's a bit mean, I'll be honest. Also, when Saturn sits on someone's Venus, they can restrict, but they can also take resources off you. So I'm wondering how that might have played out. So, also, I think I've mentioned it before, Harry's Venus in the 9th house, playing into the 9th house, is marriage to a foreigner. Okay? Every time I see people with a Venus in Sag or a Venus in the 9th house, they marry or they end up in relationships with people that are either a lot older or a lot younger than them, or from a completely different background, different ethnicity, different language, someone who's just from a different alien world. Venus in Sag, Venus in the 9th house, something that I've noticed. My dad has Venus in Sag, and that's definitely true. That's why I'm the color that I am now. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Enemy brothers, Harry's Mars Uranus conjunction lying in William's 12th house. So William, from a very early age, perceived his brother as a threat or a problem. And I think it's because William, even though he's a Virgo, which is usually quite dutiful, well-behaved sign. I mean, they can be messy, but anyway, very of service. William still has this renegade Mars placement. Like, he loses his temper. Having this... that's square with Harry's chart, his Virgo placement squared off with his Mars, his mutable Mars with Uranus. Like, he struggles to be this well-behaved, dutiful child. And then he's got this crazy, adventurous, chaotic Mars. Like, Mars is the phallus, the pee-pee, the motivation, the sex. And he's got that with Uranus. Just crazy. Give him a bottle of booze and it's a very chaotic kind of energy. So he's a bit of a wild card in that way. So to have these two malefics, Harry's two malefics, the Mars and the Uranus, play out in William's 12th house as secret enemies, Harry does things that may lead to William being disgraced or embarrassed, or he could create enemies for William, which William does not need as a king. That doesn't mean that Harry does it on purpose. He's just being messy. He's just like going at it 21 years old, being a git. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's not an easy placement. Harry doesn't understand why. Also, Harry's Mars and Uranus, this very malefic, angry placement, that's in the 11th house of the public. So there's photographs, literally photographs of him, you know, slapping photographers and whatnot when he was young. Like, he was causing all sorts of trouble. It's not a very disciplined Mars. It's very, like, it's probably best that he ended up in a career where he could work with the community and something athletic. Like, that really works well for him, because if he didn't have that outlet, it would keep on manifesting as almost degenerate behavior, if you want to call it that. Like, you know, when, like, young man, 21-year-old drunk behavior. It's a good thing he's doing something now where he can channel that into sports and channel that into socializing. Like, 11th house Mars could be a warrior for the people, and that's kind of what he's doing with this Invictus game stuff. With William, yeah, he's just wary of his brother. And I don't think Harry understands why. Also, with William's a little bit toxic. He's beautiful. He looks very angelic, especially when he was younger. But that Lilith on the... Lilith is there. Neptune is on the ascendant. He's quite dreamy. Quite dreamy. It's quite sneaky too, actually. Anyway, but yeah, I think he just wanted to distance himself from his brother, to also just have his own identity. And I think he found his brother infuriating. Like, if Harry does something bad, then William's going to be brought into it. And that's probably what he wanted to avoid. But on the other hand, Harry wanted to be close to his brother. And Harry admired his brother, loved his brother. And his brother was like, I don't want to be your friend. You know that story about them at school and how William said, pretend like you don't know me. Like, oh, so sad. And I was mean to my sister. I didn't say that shit to her. Sometimes I think my sister at school anyway, at home I bullied her, but at home I like bullied her, but she used to bully me at school. Nasty stuff. Siblings can be horrible to each other. Fixing a fractured home. Here's the thing. Even though these guys are separate right now, I think ultimately they will get back together. I don't want to give the reason why, because I don't like to manifest stuff that is sad or negative. I'm not going to put it out there. But that Venus and that Chiron are sitting on Harry's... William's Venus and Chiron are sitting on Harry's moon and north node. So William... And I'm going to do William's chart. And I have done it in a Sinistry with Catherine. William's Venus and Chiron, which is so painful, is unaspected. It's unaspected. It's a beautiful Venus in a crap place, like a crap place. And not, it's just, poor thing. I feel really bad for him. I think William, from a really young age, realized that he can't marry and love the person. He can't be with the person that he's truly, truly in love with. He had to hold back on that and marry the person that looks right for the job, someone that can do the job, and have associations with people that fit his image and can fit the business. Because in the royal family, your associations, your friendships, and your family, that's part of the business. You cannot have people, even if you love them, you cannot have them around if they don't fit the image. Image is everything. So his poor little Chiron and Venus is realizing, fuck, I'm probably never really going to be in true love. Like, true love in the romantic Venus in Taurus way. Like, and it's sad. So to have in a conjunction with the moon, Harry's moon in Taurus in this conjunction has the ability to help heal his brother, you know, give him some true love. And I think Harry does really. I think they do really love each other. A moon-Venus conjunction is beautiful. A moon on a Chiron is beautiful. Really beautiful. Thing is, it can agitate it though. Having a planet on a Chiron can agitate it, can help heal it, or at least make it feel better. because you can't ever heal Chiron. There's a whole mythology behind that. But I think they will. I believe that they will get back together. Here's the thing. What if it means that they both have to lose something? What if history repeats itself and they lose someone and that forces them to get back together? It's the first time it happened that a woman in their life passed away and left them abandoned. They grew apart. But what if it happens again and it brings them back together? I'm not going to put any ideas of how I think that might happen because there's many ways that could manifest, but in the end, I do think that they will reunite with that. I mean, that's a Taurus conjunction right there. They need each other. I think with Harry's North Node in the 4th house, that's a return to family, making his own family, yes, but it's also a return to family. I have my North Node in the 4th house as well. Someone that goes away and then comes back. Harry might come back. And William, hopefully, will give him a soft pillow to rest his head. William's Mercury sits on Harry's Chiron as well. William's Mercury sits on Harry's Chiron, and this could be a very good placement if they could talk, if they could communicate properly. But if not, he might be saying mean things to him. Because Mercury can be a lovely planet to, it's this communication planet. So if the communication planet is on the Chiron, then let's talk about the problems. Let's talk about the wounds. It's a sibling wound. Like Chiron in Gemini, and I have this too because it's a generational asteroid. It's a generational placement. How many of us born in the 80s with Chiron and Gemini have trouble with our siblings or hate our siblings? Like, it's everywhere. I see it everywhere. If it's nicely aspected, you can work through it and heal it to some extent. But if otherwise, it's very painful. It's also insecurities around intellectual things, communication things. William has the ability to help him with this. But for a long time, instead of talking it out, he said mean things, nasty things, and has not been mature in this situation, I think. Because if he was, his brother wouldn't have run away from home, Yeah, but they both have personal placements on each other's Chirons. They can sort this out if they really want to. It would just be shit if it takes a disaster for them to get back together and reunite. Boys, get your shit together. Especially you, William. William is a sneaky little bastard. Sneaky. Friendship denied. Here's the thing. Harry has his descendant in Cancer. Right? The descendant, DC here, that marks out the 7th house of friendship. So people with placements in Cancer embody the energy of partnership and his best friend, right? Meghan Markle, thankfully, has a Cancer rising. They fit quite well with each other. They look good together. So that works. With William, with his sun and moon both in Cancer and his North Node, he really embodies the type of man, the type of friend, the type of person he wishes he could be friends with. But because William has this North Node of this is where I got to go, he looks at his brother like, I don't need you to go where I got to go. No matter what, Prince William's like, I'm going to become king no matter what. I don't need you to help me become king. So you're not going to help me to my destiny. And that's the sad thing, is that he doesn't see value in his brother because he's not going to help him get to where he's going to go, which is awful. Which is awful, because if we move up here, we can see that he could do a lot of healing. Harry needs William to get to his destiny, but it's not the other way around. William's going to get on top of that throne whether or not he's got a brother. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't get back together and have a relationship. Just because you can't use someone to get to where you need to go, it doesn't mean that you can't love them. William. But yeah, I think Harry really admires, or did anyway, really admired his brother for a long time, but his brother just deny, and eventually when someone denies you, you walk away. I feel that. I've done that with family. Treat me like shit, deny. Don't want to take the olive branch? Fine, I'm out. Bye! William needs to take some accountability for this. Hopefully he does. But a North Node, I've said this before, people with their North Nodes and the Sun, you guys need to check yourselves. Check yourselves. Jeez. Also, on top of that, William's descendant, because he's a Sag rising, William's descendant is in Gemini. And Harry doesn't have any personal planets in Gemini. So even though William embodies the kind of friend that Harry would love to have, Harry does not embody the kind of friend that William would want to have. There's Chiron here, so you know what he can, and William's got that Mercury and Chiron, you know what he can do? Bully him. That's a very nice placement to bully someone and put them down and say mean things to them. The missing piece. Harry's Virgo stellium in William's intercepted 8th house. Here's the thing though. Harry wants to talk about some real shit. Harry's got this Virgo stellium in an intercepted house. So basically with William, he's got Virgo, he's got no Virgo placements, and the sign of Virgo in his house is locked away. Like it's in his 8th house of intimacy. I think that when William is with Harry, it forces him to talk about traumatic things. It forces him to look deeper. It forces him to become analytical. It forces him to look at things that he doesn't want to look at, and it's uncomfortable. When someone has placements in your 8th house, you know, if they're someone that you're attracted to, or you're like, that can work because they're going to they're going to be intimate with you. You're going to share a lot with them. But if it's your brother or a friend, that can be really uncomfortable. Like you don't want someone that has placements in your 8th house because they're going to get in your business even without trying. You're going to face trauma. 8th house is trauma. Sex, death, rebirth, shared money, trauma. And being around Harry for William is hard. Because Harry is like, let's talk about our feelings. Let's talk about our thoughts. Let's talk about how you treat me like shit. Let's talk about how you're sneaky. And William's like, la, 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 la. I'm so honorable with my Jupiter on my midheaven. La, la, la. Like, it's, bro, like, and on top of that, and I said that earlier, William doesn't need Harry to become king. I don't need you, William, honestly. But it would be great if William could appreciate his brother because he get a lot of healing. I think Harry would be like, I know a great therapist, you know. And Harry, this is the thing with Virgos. When Virgos trying with you and you keep rebuffing them and treating them like shit, they'll turn on you and get nasty and start talking crap about you. And I speak from experience. Not because I'm a Virgo, but I've dealt with Virgos, a lot of Virgos. But ultimately, when someone fills out an intercepted placement, they help you get that energy. Like it's actually it could be a very beautiful thing. But if you're going to deny, it can turn into a very ugly thing. Okay, coming to the end of this. So this is this is it. This is their Sinistry chart. I want to talk about this a little bit. So you can see that Harry has Lilith in Aries in William's 3rd house of friends. So this tells me that William is very competitive within his friendship groups. He has a lot of rivals. William had a lot of rivals with other dukes and lords or whatever the hell. Anyway, to have Harry's Lilith, and this is not a conscious thing that Harry is doing, but Harry's Lilith in his 3rd house is going to aggravate. It's going to, like, competing with his brother. Like, William cannot compete with his brother on an athletic level. And Aries is that, you know. Also associating with Harry could bring in some troubled people into his circle, potentially. there's so many ways this can play out. But yeah, having like a malefic energy like that in someone's third house of friendship, it would become super competitive. Like on the field together when they were doing like the polo and all of that, it's intense because Harry would win every time. Competition for friends, competition for girls. I wanted to also talk about another reason why they probably have this conflict is because Harry's got Jupiter on the ascendant. His Jupiter in Capricorn plays into his first house. I know it's in his 12th house, yes, but it is on his ascendant pretty much because his ascendant is in Capricorn. So in person, right, in a setting where you meet them face to face when you're facing the ascendant, because the ascendant is your face, Harry and William in person together, who do you think you're going to get along with more? Who's going to be warmer? Who's going to be kinder? Who's going to be more interested in you? Harry would be. Jupiter on the ascendant, people with like a Sag rising. Well, I know William has a Sag rising, so he has a bit of this too, but he's got a malefic on his ascendant. Harry has Jupiter's there. Like he's interested in you. He wants to know more about you. It's much more friendly. The chart ruler for William is at the top of his chart. So he looks honorable at work. So when you put them together, if we take an image of them, scrap the room, take them out of the room where you're meeting them, because you're going to like Harry more in person. If we're going to talk about media, if we're going to talk about the superficial public image, William is the more likable one because of that Jupiter on the midheaven. Jupiter on the ascendant makes someone lovely in person. Jupiter on the midheaven makes someone lovely in the eye of the public. So I think William knew that. Harry's the more likable guy. Harry's more popular. Harry has more friends. Harry could make more friends. And Harry's very like he can be more vulnerable with people and more impulsive because he's free to be more impulsive as well. William's tied up with a lot of formality and Harry's not. He has a little bit more freedom and maybe he resents him because of that. I could see that, Like this Jupiter sits on William's Lilith as well. Like it's very aggravating. That is very aggravating that Harry has the charisma that William doesn't have. William has his mother's looks, but Harry's got his mother's charisma. Let's move to the final thoughts. Okay. Prince William is the chosen child who will be perceived as the more honorable of the brothers. Always. Maybe in the future, because Saturn on Harry's midheaven will give him a better reputation down the track. So looking back in history, Harry will probably be the more popular one. Because if William has done sneaky things, that will be revealed later on, not now. Maybe when he's old or dead, that'll all come out. We'll find out later. Prince Harry is the black sheep who will be blamed and scapegoated in order to bolster the reputation of his brother. So that makes sense with the gossip rags. Even before he married Meghan, Harry was the one that was naughty and badly behaved and drunk all the time. Like William wasn't. William did the same stuff. I think Harry's just got a worse temper. Putting that out there. Harry's got a very bad temper. In public anyway. William, I have heard that he can be overly emotional and aggressive, but he does that in private. He's also protected. Harry's chaos is much more visible to the public. William's chaos is very, very private. It's kept under wraps. So, Prince William is born with respect, while Harry must earn it, and that is the Scorpio midheaven conjunctions with Jupiter and Saturn. That's the difference. They both have a Scorpio midheaven. One has a planet of difficulty and restriction and disgrace, which is Saturn. That's Harry. William's got Jupiter, which is popularity. That's just given to you. It's already assumed that he's honorable and pure and perfect, even if he's not. They both trigger each other's wounds, and that is the Chiron conjunction. So one has Harry has one in Gemini, and William has one in Taurus, and they both have a Gemini Taurus placement that would aggravate the wounds, but they could also heal. Well, they could not necessarily heal them, but make them feel better if they really wanted to. But they don't. Not yet, anyway. Hopefully they will. The North Node, Harry's North Node is there, so hopefully they come around to that eventually. And finally, Harry wants to be more connected to his brother, while William perceived him as a threat and/or embarrassment. So you have this energy in their chart where Harry wants to bring his brother closer, and William wants to push Harry away. And that's an energy that's been there since the very beginning, you know, like the whole story of them going to school. You know, Harry just wanted a friend. Like, he's very alone in this, and his brother just felt like his brother just abandoned him. So yeah, I think things will, I'm very hopeful that they can work this out based on that Taurus North Node of Harry's and the moon, and William's poor little sad Taurus Venus with Chiron. Like, I think there will be a union, but it would just be shit if they both had to lose their support system. Because sometimes in order to gain something and get to where you need to be, you got to let something go. You got to lose something. You know? All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing this. And if you'd like to support me, you can purchase a reading. They're 50% off for limited time only, limited spaces. Go do it now. And if not, if you can't do that, please like, subscribe, and comment, and help me with this algorithm. I would like to be a YouTuber. I would like to be successful at this. I am hustling. I am laying every brick as perfectly as possible so I can build this wall of success. All right, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.